AMC stock was very explosive at times today, and I think that goes to show us that when we do get a positive sentiment in the markets, or AMC gives us another bullish catalyst, that the stock is actually going to get a lot of volume and we're going to see a lot of bullish momentum. Now, besides that, I want to talk about this catalyst that came out at 2 p.m. today, because it wasn't very bad, it wasn't very good at the same time, but there's something that is happening tomorrow that is going to be a very big deal, and I want to dive straight into that, as well as all of the AMC specific data that you guys need to know, like we always go over here in these videos. So do me a quick favor, it costs you nothing, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want all of your questions answered, you guys want to talk about trades, just fuck around, quite honestly, come check out the live stream every single day besides Friday and Saturday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nonetheless, let's get into this video. If you guys want to come trade with us as well, we hit a lot of trades today. Check that link out down below in the pinned comment. Now, let's look at the SPY. The SPY closed down 1% flat, down 0.06% here in after hours. And we did get that Fed catalyst, like I said, and we're going to briefly talk about exactly what was said, because it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad at the same time. But the timing for this is very, very interesting. So this catalyst is not over. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be the real move. Now, it says Fed officials plan to shrink the balance sheet by $95 billion a month, meeting minutes indicate. Now, it comes down to this. It says right here, officials generally agreed that a maximum of $60 billion in treasuries and $35 billion in mortgage-backed securities would be allowed to roll off, phased in over 3 months and likely starting in May. That would be about double the rate of the last effort from 2017 through 2019 and represent part of a historic switch from ultra-easy monetary policy. That's the big thing to note. And then a lot of Fed speakers are indicating that there will be that 50 basis point rate hike in May. And it does say, quote right here, just so you guys know I'm not pulling that out my ass, says many participants noted that one or more 50 basis point increases in the target range could be appropriate at future meetings, particularly if inflation pressures remain elevated or intensified, the minute said. And that's exactly what we have been seeing. Now, some people have pointed this out, and I noticed this myself, that these Fed minutes are basically like a transcript of what was said at the last Fed meeting. And get this, the last Fed meeting, let's go ahead and take off VWAP so it's a little bit easier to see, was down here about March 16th. In this range. I believe it was March 16th. Right down here when the markets were at this low point, and we could have continued to keep falling, or we could have rallied. So a lot of people are saying that the Fed didn't want to drop this kind of news when the markets were already at lows. So the situation likely has changed since the Fed minutes, again, in the middle of March. The situation has definitely changed. The markets have rallied, inflation continuing to go higher. A lot of uncertainties around the world. Nothing has changed in that regard. So what they're feeling now might be a little bit different from what they felt back in March. And that's so interesting because we have 4 Fed speakers tomorrow. And if they start to kind of signal that they're not really in line with those Fed minutes, you're really going to see the markets take a dramatic move to the upside or to the downside. Now, when you're talking about the Fed, nothing is ever guaranteed. Obviously, they could come out and be super dovish, or if they all come out and they're super hawkish, saying that, you know, we might have to go more than what the Fed minute said as far as reducing the balance sheet, right? Some people were expecting in between $150 and $200 billion per month being reduced. So it's actually a positive that it only came in at $90 billion. It's kind of in the median estimate that analysts had, but they could quickly tomorrow give us a signal that they will go even faster than that. The Fed has power to do that. Even though the minutes came out and it said 90 billion, they could signal that they would go more than that. Now, that's really the hawkish case here. The bullish case here would be if the Fed basically stays in line with the Fed minutes, and then the markets would likely rally off of that like they did at times today. We really didn't close at lows. We kind of closed at the price that we opened for the day. Believe it or not, we did gap down a little bit, but we kind of closed a little bit under this opening price. So even though we went down a lot, and this is when the Fed minutes came out, and you guys can see the volatility after that and the volume picking up in a very dramatic way, but we really didn't go down we didn't close at the lows, we didn't close at the highs. So tomorrow is going to be very, very important. And you do have a lot of hawks that speak tomorrow, like Fed Bullard. You also do have Fed Evans, Fed Bostic, as well as Fed Williams. A lot of these guys are on the hawkish side, and you do have initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims as well. So that's going to be another important data point that comes out at 8:30. Fed Bullard speaks at 9, so during pre-market, and then Fed Williams speaks later in the day, and I believe the other Fed members are around 8:30 and 9 in the morning. So tomorrow, by the time you guys wake up, you're probably going to see a big move in one direction or the other, so stay vigilant for that. As far as AMC is concerned, we were only down 3.87%. Relative to some other stocks that are even in my portfolio, it was not a bad day. This is relative here, right? It's not a good thing to see the stock down 4%, but if something like DraftKings was down 8%, Affirm was down roughly 8%, Square was down about 4%, PayPal down over 4%, 3.87% down on AMC, not all too bad. And even at times today, we were positive. During this, we were actually positive on the day and hit $21.91 per share. We were actually joking about it in the trading group. We were saying, hey, look, Amy went for its morning run, right? It happened. And I think that shows a lot of bullishness when the markets do become more accommodative to some of these runners. Without a catalyst, you're not going to run too much too soon, if that makes sense. You need to see a catalyst in this market environment to get those big running days. And that's really a waiting game. We know another big catalyst is coming sometime around the corner. Adam Aron has said that they're looking at 5 or 6 different companies to invest about $500 million into. Those are going to be big deals when that does come out. But AMC is actually positive here in after hours, not something that you are seeing a lot across the broad markets right now. A lot of stocks are actually down in after hours. Like I said, S&P down about 0.06%, AMC up in after hours 0.10%. Now, if the Fed comes out and they signal to us that they're going to go even more aggressive than the Fed minutes did tell us, then I would expect AMC to fall down to about $18 per share, about this 50-day moving average. Now, if all things are good and there's not a change in the tone from these Fed members from what we got on the Fed minutes, the markets will probably, or I shouldn't say the markets, but AMC in general would probably cross back above that $21 price. We did slightly close under this key level at $21 per share, closing at $20.43 per share. So we're not too far off that level. We could bounce right back above, and that's what I'm going to watch if we do come down or if we do go back up above those key levels. So that's really what I expect as far as potential good and bad coming out of tomorrow. Specifically, that's what you guys need to watch for. If these Fed members give you a more hawkish stance than the minutes gave you, or if they are in line with the Fed minutes. The markets, didn't like it, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. That's what the markets always look at. Even though there was bad news, the markets are like, hey, it wasn't as bad as we expected, so let's buy the dip again. There is a lot of meat on the market, though, a lot of meat on the bone, let's call it that, for the markets, though, to potentially come down. Who knows? We'll see. A lot of this is just me implying, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Let me know your take on that. Let me know what you think is gonna come out of tomorrow. But nonetheless, let's get into AMC specific data, and then we will come back and look at the technicals just briefly. So as far as the Ortex data, let's go ahead and refresh this. You're looking at 20.9% short interest of free float. Again, short interest still going up. 107.74 million shares that are sold short. Cost to borrow max of 3.3%. Utilization of 100% and days to cover at 2.46. So obviously the situation here looking more bullish than ever. Every single day the squeeze does not happen, and the Fed is hawking down on the economy, making it harder and more expensive for shorts to remain in their short positions via increasing margin rates as well as increasing just interest rates in general. You're going to start to see the cost of borrow rates going through the roof as well. Every single day we don't squeeze, it becomes more and more bullish. Shorts can't remain in their short positions that much longer. Every day this does go on. But this data is looking very good. Shorts are obviously not slowly covering. That's what I'm going to watch for. If shorts do ever start to slowly cover, that's where some of my verbiage could change. But until shorts cover, or until we get an indication that they're slowly covering, the situation is getting more and more bullish by the day. As far as the option activity, you're looking at positive order value of 93%, 21 orders totaling $18.38 million. And look at all these calls that are coming through. A January 2023 $100 calls, 2 of them. One of those orders for about $83,000, another one for $78,000. In April 14th, $24 call for $30.6 $1,000. So a lot of bullish activity that did go in, and this was really the last couple of minutes of trading. So keep that in mind. You want to see what's institutional investors doing as far as options are concerned, because options expire worthless. So especially if these guys are going out to the $100 strike 9 months out, that's implying a very bullish move. 93% positive order value. I think that tells the whole story. Nonetheless, that's what you guys need to know as far as the Ortex data is concerned. The max pain for AMC stock is still $22 by the end of this week. That would imply a move back to the upside. Let's take a look at the probability for a 0.5% rate hike, and there you have it, 80.5% probability at the May meeting, as well as I will imagine an 80.5% probability of a 0.5% rate hike at the June meeting as well. So interest rates are about to go through the roof. Margin rates are about to go through the roof. The cost of acquiring capital is going through the roof. Makes it hard for shorts to remain in those short positions. Now, that's really all as far as potential catalysts for the rest of this week. Nothing crazy comes out on Friday. Next week, you do start to get bank earnings and some other data points, but that's basically it. That's what we have to contend with for tomorrow as well as Friday. It's really going to be those Fed speakers that hold the biggest weight on the markets. And this whole Fed minutes, you're going to see a digestion period. You're going to see the markets kind of figure out, what does this mean? How do we revalue stocks? Do we have to revalue stocks? Should they be higher? Should they be lower? That's what people are looking at right now and trying to figure out, right? Not everybody knows right away how to interpret the Fed meeting, Fed minutes. It wasn't a Fed meeting. None of the Fed members spoke after that. But it does take a little bit of time. So throughout the rest of this week, the next 2 days, it's going to be very important to pay attention to the markets as well as pay attention to how AMC stock moves. But like I said, it was very explosive at times today. So I do think once there's a reason to rally, I think we're going to rally pretty damn hard. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about is the broad technical picture. And like I said, watch that key level at $18 per share for the downside. Watch the next key level at $21 per share. If we do rally tomorrow and the Fed does stay in line with the Fed minutes or even goes more on the dovish side, I don't expect that. But if it happens and we can break above 23.39, that's going to be a very important level. We've been getting some level of resistance around that. That's the 100-day moving average. That's going to be very important. If we break out above that, next stop is going to be $25 per share. The MACD has officially went bearish. We did just cross above, or below the blue signal line. And it's bullish when the yellow line is above the blue line, bearish when the yellow line crosses below the blue line. The RSI is at 49.91, so it's pretty much at neutral, slightly under neutral, signaling a little bit of an oversold nature to AMC stock. So that is pretty much going to be all for this video. Not too much else to actually add. Overall, it wasn't a bad day in the sense of it showed us that AMC stock is still going to have those explosive moves to the upside. And considering other stocks out there, some that I'm owning, AMC was in the top end performing range of those stocks. So I think there's good and bad to pull out of today. Be watching for tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of volatility. Don't get caught holding the bag on any of your guys' trades. So that's going to be it. Like I said, if you guys want to come join the trading group, link down below in the pinned comment. Go ahead, follow me on Twitter, as well as get your free stocks with Moomoo. When you sign up and deposit $100, you will get 4 free stocks as well as an additional free share of NEO while that promotion does last. So definitely go ahead and check that out if you guys have not already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.